Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is another movie review. That's right, we're taking a break from Marvel for a little bit and we're doing Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, in preparation for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out December 20th, I want to hopefully see it on the 20th or, at least a day or two after, hopefully as soon as I can. Be careful of spoilers and all that fun stuff. I thought, hey, let's re-review and review some Sonic stuff. So we're talking Sonic the Hedgehog 1 that released in 2020, the year of our Lord and Savior. And let me just tell you right now, I remember when that first trailer dropped. Okay, like I've always been a Sonic fan my whole life. I've enjoyed some of the games there. I played the Black Knight. I played Sonic 06, I think. Colors on the Wii. Oh boy. And just actually recently, today I was playing some Sonic Generations. And it's fun. When Sonic wants to make a good game, they make a good game. Okay, they're not Mario level, they're not Zelda level, they're not, other, Elden Ring level of quality, but a lot of the Sonic games are really good, and I'm a huge fan of it, right? I've watched a lot of the Sonic shows, so when, I heard that they were making a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I was like, okay, cool, I'll get my chili dog belly, let's do it. And, unfortunately, that first trailer dropped, and it was a, oh boy. Now, I didn't overreact like the internet where they're like, oh, kill it with fire. I get it. People made their videos and they made fun of it for easy hate clicks. I get it. I'm not stupid. But it did look like roadkill. Okay, like that Sonic looked. I wanted to kill it. I did. I wanted to drown it in acid. It looked very, very ugly. It was just not a good look, right? They had the silhouette. They had like an early promo with Chris Pratt for some reason, and he was there. The eyes were beady. Chip and Dale made fun of it. I mean, it's a really shitty looking design. So I'm really glad that the internet was able to collectively bully a multi-billion-dollar studio and say, hey, this is Garbo. Can you fix it? Now, again, all joking aside, I do not condone bullying of people. I get it. The design was god-awful, and it was objectively bad. It looked horrible. But, Sonic fans are passionate, and maybe not as stupid as some of these fans for this franchise, but, a lot of the Sonic fans can get a little bit carried away, okay, Rule 34, and it's very much like, oh, this is not good. Let's just bully everyone. And the studio listened and they said, hey, all right, this is ass. Let's fix it. And they did. And now we get the Sonic that we all know and love. And I'll be honest, I understand how some people don't like this first movie, okay? Like it's not super lore heavy, okay? I know you get the owls or whatever, you get the echidna killers in the beginning, you get Sonic, of course, and Tails obviously shows up in the very end, the post-credit scene or whatnot. There's no Knuckles, no Shadow, no anyone else, no Rose, Rogue or Rouge, Big the Cat, there's not a whole lot. Eggman's in there, obviously, a Robotnik, but it's not a very Sonic-y movie. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it is Sonic and Tom, Donut Lord, and Maddie, and, Tom and Sonic, I almost said Tom and Sonic are going on this adventure, right? This little, buddy road trip. And I actually like it. Like, upon rewatch, I love this movie. Like, it's really freaking well made. But again, I could understand how, these massive Sonic lore fans, I'm a casual Sonic fan, I mean? Like, I play the games, I watch the shows and all that, but I'm not, super, there's a whole Archie comic book thing. That's a whole other thing. But this is, there's no Chaos Emeralds, right? There's nothing insanely Sonic-y about it, right? It's really just Sonic in name only. I know they got Green Hills, and, there's references, but it's a pretty standard movie, right? Like, Sonic goes in a car ride with Tom, and obviously the rings are teleporters, and they kind of change a little bit of the stuff for the film, but I think it works, I think it's a really fun, really funny movie. Like, there are genuine, there's a lot of funny jokes. I think, Wade is funny. I think that Robotnik is funny. Jim Carrey is obviously... Jim Carrey is not my favorite actor in the world, but I think he's really good as Robotnik. I remember that first trailer drop, besides the Sonic look, people were like, oh, it's not funny. Oh, it looks like Transformers. Because, Robotnik shows up and he's not fat. And then you get the FBI or who went the CIA, and they're like, typical CIA shit in movies where they're like, we got a bogey on our six. How are we going to stop this? Who are we going to call? That kind of thing. Kind of like standard Call of Duty nonsense, 994K, Tango Alpha, 3EKIA, that kind of stuff. And it works in Call of Duty, but in Sonic I was like, I don't know about that. But actually watching it, yeah, it makes sense that, Sonic causes a big-ass EMP blast. And they're like, we don't know what the heck caused this. Let's call Robotnik the robot guy. And, I think it's cool. it's just cool. You know, it's awesome. Obviously, we get name drops and references and all that, but again, I do like the fact that we get a kind of slower burn of a Sonic movie, right? Obviously, there is a lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of crazy stuff that goes down, right? And there's kind of like this character arc for Tom and Maddie, which, again, I didn't expect to get a whole lot of character development for the humans, you know what I mean? Obviously, we get some character development for Sonic and how he wants to belong and find a family, and it's really touching stuff. How he just wants a high five, and, you know, little things like that. He's always on the run, and, you know, he sees Donut Lord, you know, Tom kind of watching over the citizens, and Tom's like, you know, I want to be a cop and, like, have this, you know, life and death situation where, you know, I just don't want to feel like a babysitter. And you get Maddie, who, you know, Maddie isn't that, you know, well written in terms of a character arc. You know, she's just a vet or whatever, but she's cool. You know, she's there. She's supportive for Tom and all that, and they're a good married couple, I guess. You get JoJo, the little girl who gives Sonic his shoes. I think her name's Rachel, the mom. She's kind of poorly written in this, in a sense that she is funny. Okay, I'm not gonna she's funny, but she's I hate her. I mean, she's a very hated, very easy to hate character, because she's like, oh, divorce him, Tom. Wow, you really don't belong together. It's like, we get it, like, it's funny for a second, but it's like, man, she's like a really shitty person. I mean, like, I don't get it. It's weird, but it's interesting to me that you get this aspect of these characters that actually, you know, matter. And it's not just like, oh shoot, you know, they're kind of in the wayside and all that. This feels like, no, Sonic and these characters, these human characters, matter. Obviously, we get Robotnik in there as well. Of course, he's really great. Obviously, he's not the super fat Eggman that we're going to know him as in later installations of this franchise, in this film franchise. But it's cool. You know, I think Jim Carrey does a really good job with what he's given. He's funny. Dr. Stone. Dr. Pershing, that's a Star Wars. Dr. Stone is good. Apparently the guy who plays Dr. Stone in this movie voices Bazem in Assassin's Creed, which is crazy because he doesn't even sound like that, which that's funny. But yeah, I mean, he's fine, I guess. You know, there's some really funny moments. You know, some more adult humor than what I thought. I know Sonic is not a kid's thing. It's not only for children. Sonic is a game franchise and now a film franchise that everyone can get behind, but it's funny to hear, you know, like drug dealers, hell, son of a Whack-Offski, you know, hell, damn it, crap, sucks. It's just kind of, it's refreshing because, like, obviously kids watch this movie and they like it, but, you know, there are a lot of teenagers and adults that play these games and love this franchise. So I'm very, very glad they were able to kind of appeal to everyone, which is great. You know what I mean? Kids can watch it for blue colors, and teenagers and adults can watch it for, you know, quality storytelling and actual good character arcs and really good CGI, you know, once they fix Sonic, obviously. You know, this feels like a more a big event type of movie. Even though a lot of it is Sonic and Tom in a freaking car or a truck with no hood or whatever, you know what I mean? It feels very grand in scope. They're fleshing out the world with the humans. They're fleshing out Sonic and how he wants to belong and all that. Obviously, we're not getting Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Rogue, or whoever. You know, the Chaos Emeralds, that's kind of, you know, they kind of slowly, little by little, add onto the lore with each movie, which I like. But this one does feel kind of grounded in nature for a talking blue hedgehog that's really effing quick. It does feel genuinely grounded in nature, and it feels like something, you know, that it could really happen in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's rings that teleport you and stuff, which I don't think that happens in the game, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Obviously there's not going to be rings all over the freaking place for Sonic to go run around and, you know, there have to be liberties that are taken to, you know, obviously make a film franchise out of a game, which I understand, I get it, and it's cool. But yeah, man, I think it's really, I think the thing that really stood out to me the most from rewatching this is just the heart. You know what I mean? I forgot how emotional this film was, not in terms of sadness, but in terms of Sonic and him wanting to belong and finding a family, and you know, kind of Tom kind of realizing that his life and death situation is maybe not in like a gang shootout, but with, you know, Sonic, for instance, you know, because it is, you know, like if Eggman or Robotnik, whatever, I think it's Robotnik still, when he kidnaps Sonic, like, it's game over. You know, he's screwed. It's over. He's done. You know, he's probably going to die. So, and then, of course, once Tom punches him in the house and it pisses him off, they start literally shooting bullets at him and rockets and stuff. It's crazy. And I think the action is really well handled as well. I think, you know, obviously Maddie doesn't have a whole lot to do, as I said, but she's there. But I do like that. You know, I mean, we're getting sprinkles of this family and this world, and it's not just, oh, Sonic and, Green Hill Zone and, oh, Ace Chemicals or whatever it was called. You know what I mean? It's more than that, and they're really trying to kind of make this a fleshed out universe as opposed to just, oh, it's a blue guy and he runs quick. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much all you're getting in the games. A lot of it is, obviously, you look at Sonic 06, there is a lot of lore, so don't misconstrue that. But, for a lot of basic Sonic fans, it's, oh, okay, it's a blue hedgehog, he runs quick, he picks up rings, Green Hill Zone, Eggman, Tails and Knuckles. That's about it. And maybe Shadow if you're lucky. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much, for many people that know, like, Sonic, that's their base knowledge, right? Not unless you're like a true diehard Sonic fan, even more than me, and you read all the comics and you play all the games and you know all the lore. It is quite involved. So it's interesting that they chose to do kind of a lesser involved, more grounded approach to this universe, and they kind of build their way up to that with each installment, which again is really cool. I think that it's got some really fun moments with the obviously Sonic moves super fast and everything slows down. We've seen that in 100 times before in like X-Men and different superhero things, but it's cool to see that they play that into the comedy. Ben Schwartz, I think. Yeah, Ben Schwartz does a really good job voicing Sonic. I obviously have the Roger Craig Smith. Oh, hey, Dr. Eggman. Hey, Tails. We're going to go get some chili dogs. That's the kind of Sonic I know. There is the That's No Good, that version from the 90s or whatever, the 80s or whatever that show was. But I think Ben, he does a good job. I think he hits that kind of a-hole-esque Sonic. Sonic, his personality is basically PG Deadpool, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, he's a smart ass and he makes jokes and he doesn't really break the fourth wall, but he's a jokester. He's a kid, he likes to have fun. And I think it's kind of interesting that, I think that they didn't do like an, oh, he's super serious type of thing. Like, no, he's a fun person, and I think he kind of brings that into the picture, which is really great. Obviously, again, Robotnik is great, and the things he does. It very much can sometimes feel like a Tom and Jerry episode where, like, Sonic's like, oh, is that all you got? And he's like, no, but thank you for asking. And he hits the button, and like a little drone pops out. It's got Tom and Jerry isms to it. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying straight up what it is. But it's interesting that, they had Sonic and Robotnik have this really good, team up, enemy, frenemy, I guess, now, but it's interesting, how they're kind of building up, and this is rare for a video game franchise to, basically get bullied into oblivion for like a few months, and then they decide to listen to the fans, change the design, and obviously the movie would have still been great with a shitty looking Sonic, but it just would have been weird to look at Sonic, you know what I mean? So now that we have a Sonic and obviously, Tails and Knuckles and a Shadow and whoever, they look good. That's good, right? Because now we can go, okay, we don't have to look at some demon from hell, the whole time. We can look at a good looking Sonic and, a well designed Sonic, and that's really cool that they listened, but they also made a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, I know video game movies have this horrible reputation, but I love Detective Pikachu. I think that's a phenomenal film. Probably my favorite video game movie of all time, which is also referenced in the Sonic 3 trailer. So I guess that's canon? It would have to be, right? Which is interesting. Assassin's Creed, I actually really loved that. Uncharted was fine. I didn't mind Uncharted, I guess. I'm probably missing a few, but I liked. There are some video game adaptations that I really love, and Sonic the Hedgehog is a very good adaptation of the game. You know what I mean? Again, it's not as painstakingly in depth as the lore can get with these games, and it's pretty basic in terms of what's going on. But what they're able to do and build up to, especially in this film, it's basic, but it doesn't feel basic or simple or easy or cheap. It has this lore and world building to it where it's very grounded in reality for a talking hedgehog movie. And I think, the humans are great. It doesn't feel like an Alvin and the Chipmunk scenario where it looks really like a horrible CGI thing with really bad actors. Like, the world, even though there's a blue hedgehog, the world takes this seriously. It's not like Alvin and the Chipmunks again, where they're like, oh, talking chipmunks, oh, poopy fart jokes. Like, no, they're genuinely trying to make this like a serious, and I know it's a comedy as well, but they're trying to, they want audiences to take this seriously and not go, oh, it's just some stupid blue talking CGI animal hybrid movie thing like Yogi Bear or something like that. This is a big deal. And, because they took it seriously and they really cared about the source material and they were able to build up these characters and make a world that is able to be cared about, they were able to make Sonic 2, which will be reviewed next, and make the Knuckles show, and make a Sonic 3, and presumably a Sonic 4, I don't know, but it's really cool that we live in this world where Sonic is getting, we're getting a trilogy of Sonic movies. That's pretty freaking cool. Like, the movies are better than the games. That's crazy, you know what I mean? No, it normally doesn't happen. So it's really interesting that, you know, this world even, this film even exists, and that it's as good as it is. I mean, upon rewatch, I laughed a lot. I loved it. It had really good action, great humor, great heart, and it really does hold up, you know, 4 years later, and I think it's a fun time. So tell me down below in the comments what you think about Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I can't wait to tackle Sonic 2. All I remember is that there's some Chaos Emeralds, Knuckles in it, and there's a wedding. So I'm going to get into that, you know, hopefully it'll be good. We'll find out. And then I have never seen the Knuckles show, and thanks to Recon Trooper, he did that whole sending me thing, and I'm able to now watch the Knuckles show. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I have it on Blu-ray now, so that's cool. So I will be watching that, and then as soon as I can, review Sonic 3, either on the 20th or close to, you know, shortly after the 20th, I'll get that out, and then don't worry, we'll go back to the MCU with Thor 4 and all that. But thank you guys for watching my Sonic review. I got a lot of fun stuff coming up on the channel, and yeah, man, I'm very excited to continue this franchise, and I had a lot of fun with this one, and I can't wait to dive into Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video. I'm gonna go get some chili dogs. Peace.